Omar had been stabbed in the mosque, but he had enough time to confer his last wishes to the people. Omar said, "Call Ali for me, Uthman, Al-Zubair and Saad." When they arrived, he says, "Wait for your brother Talha for 3 nights. If he does not come, do what you have to do. I implore you not to bring the people under the power of your relatives. Off you go, consult together, then do what you have to do." So basically, he's picking 6 men who he trusts, including Ali, and he's saying, from among you, you pick the next leader. Now pay attention to these names. Talha and Zubair will be very important later. So after conferring together, the people choose Uthman as the next Khalifa. And if you read the history, the reason actually seems pretty obvious. Omar is a brilliant man, but he is a micromanager. He is paying attention to everything happening at once, and he's always giving people the strictest possible rules. No, you can't accept this gift from the treasury. You have too much money. Why are you wearing silk? He is hardcore. He is constantly micromanaging everything, and is a very effective leader because of that. Uthman is the exact opposite of Omar. Uthman is not an ascetic in the same way Omar is. Uthman is rich and generous, as we saw from the last episode, right? When Muhammad had ordered somebody's death, Uthman was the guy that could save your life. A report says, "During Ramadan, I used to break my fast with Uthman, and he would serve us food of finer quality than Omar used to. Every night I saw on Uthman's table lamb and things made with fine flour. I never saw Omar eat anything made of sifted flour, nor any sheep save old mutton. I spoke to Uthman about this, and he replied, 'God be merciful to Omar and those who endure what Omar used to endure.'" So Uthman, instead of being this strict leader like Omar was, increased state welfare payments, made sure everybody had more money. During Omar's reign, Muawiyah had been appointed as the governor of Syria. Even under Omar, Muawiyah was such a competent governor that he kept getting more and more provinces in Syria and increased his power. In Uthman's reign, Muawiyah is the first Muslim to fight a major naval battle and win at something called the Battle of the Masts. He then conquers Cyprus. Now at this time, the Islamic Empire has expanded, so have the number and the ethnicity of the Muslims in Islam. This means there are some questions about what is going to happen with the Qur'an and how everybody can access it. And some Muslim soldiers heard other Muslims reciting it in the wrong way. So Uthman decides to collate the Qur'an. This is a report from Sahih al-Bukhari. Hudayfa bin al-Yaman came to Uthman at the time when the people of Sham, that's Syria, and the people of Iraq were waging war to conquer Armenia and Azerbaijan. Hudayfa was afraid that the people of Sham and Iraq had differences in the recitation of the Qur'an. So he said to Uthman, "O chief of the believers, save this nation before they differ about the book as Jews and Christians did before." So Uthman sent messages to Hafsa saying, "Send us the manuscripts of the Qur'an so that we may compile the Quranic materials in perfect copies and return the manuscripts to you." Hafsa sent it to Uthman. Uthman then ordered Zayd bin Thabit, Abdullah bin al-Zubair, and Said bin al-As, and Abdurrahman bin Harith bin Hisham to rewrite the manuscripts in perfect copies. Uthman said to 3 Qurayshi men, "In case you disagree with Zayd bin Thabit at any point in the Quran, then write it in the dialect of the Quraysh." The Quran was revealed in their tongue. They did so, and when they had written many copies, Uthman returned the original manuscripts to Hafsa. Uthman then sent to every Muslim province 1 copy of what they had copied, and ordered that all the other Quranic materials, whether written in fragmentary manuscripts or whole copies, be burned. Uthman burned every copy of the Quran that was not the official state-sanctioned Quran. And the thought behind this was that if you had 1 copy from the state, then no one could claim any different ones. There were some Muslims at the time who did not like that Uthman did this, including a guy called Abdullah ibn Masud, who was one of Muhammad's chief scribes. Sahih Muslim puts it this way: Abdullah bin Masud disliked Zayd bin Thabit copying the Mus'haf, that's the manuscript of the Quran, and said, O you Muslim people, I am removed from recording the transcription of the Mus'haf, and it is overseen by a man, by Allah. When I accepted Islam, he was but in the loins of a disbelieving man, meaning Zayd, and it was regarding this that Abdullah ibn Masud said, O people of Al-Iraq, keep the manuscripts that are with you and conceal them. For indeed, Allah said, and whoever conceals something, he shall come to what is concealed on the day of judgment. So meet Allah with the manuscripts. Al-Zuri said, it was conveyed to me that some men amongst the most virtuous of the companions of the Messenger of Allah disliked that view of Ibn Masud. Some manuscript traditions of Ibn Masud did survive. Ibn Masud's version of the Quran had 2 less surahs than the Quran. So for example, Ibn Masud believed that Surah Al-Fatiha was not actually part of the Quran, it was simply a prayer. But on substance, there's not any massive difference between the Quran of Ibn Masud and the Uthmanic Quran, but enough that there's genuine contention recorded in the Islamic sources. Uthman is fairly popular for the first few years of his reign, but things are about to change.